Social isolation. If you're isolating yourself, dude, you are missing out on so many things in life. You know, I'm 26 now, and I was also isolating myself. And looking back, I was a huge dumbass for doing that. All those years I spent playing games alone and shit, I was the type of kid who would spend days playing Skyrim alone without talking to anybody. Not even on the internet, dude. Just straight up talking to NPCs and shit. But one day, I watched an anime called Frieren Beyond Journey's End. It's kind of like a documentary about an elf girl after defeating the final boss. She kind of keeps herself busy for a very long time, and because she is basically immortal, everybody around her who she was close with slowly ends up passing away. And that made me extremely sad, because, you know, I was doing something very similar. It straight up made me realize, you know, we all need to be more cautious of and just, you know, pay more attention to what we do with our time, right? For me, for example, since I was a kid, I've always wanted to visit Japan. But I've always kept myself busy with things like hobbies, job, you know, stuff. But after watching this, you know, little anime,
I decided, fuck it.
I booked a ticket. And I gotta tell you, dude, Japan did not disappoint. I met a ton of amazing people, and I was lucky to have created tons of experiences that I'm sure I'll never forget. And that's what life is about, dude. Life is about experiences. The more you stick to the routine, the more of those experiences you'll miss. There's no arguing shit is expensive nowadays, and just life in general, right? For example, think about the cost of video games today. It's like $70 for a game. But the thing is, you can go on a date right now, and it's gonna be close to that, my dude. This actually comes back to the idea at the beginning of the video, and it's that it's easier now than ever to straight up isolate yourself. Because think about it logically, right? Would you rather spend $70 on a video game or go on a date, right? And you're sitting there like, okay, a date is going to give me a fun experience for like an hour or two, but a game I can play for like 20 hours if it's a good one, right? It's a bit stupid to think like this, but that's the reality. But here's a counter argument. Think of all the time you spent on video games and all the time you've spent on,
like, you know, shit like dates.
Now, which time spent do you remember more? Right? It's a lot easier to remember those dates, my dude. The thing with video games is like, sure, they allow you to spend your time logically more efficiently, right? Because, like, you know, you just spend more time. But the thing is, those experiences that video games give are straight up not rememberable. Now, I don't want you to get this wrong. Like, I'm not out here trying to tell you,
I'll go out there, Jimmy, and spend all your money right now, bro.
No. All I'm saying, it's good to, you know, pause for a second and think about, like, your mindset when spending money. For example, when you look at the stats for game spending habits, right? Like on platforms like Steam or some shit, most of us buy shitty games all the time and we just put them on a backlog. And we never play them, right? So might as well just go on a fucking date or something. Hell, even go to like a swimming pool or something. Because, you know, you can just like enjoy swimming and stuff. And who knows, like maybe you can even meet somebody, dude. Who knows? Also, you'd be surprised how much you're missing out on when it comes to opportunities. When I think of my favorite streamers, for example, the most fun I'm having is when they collab with other streamers, right? So for example, I remember watching this one guy because he was very good at the game, and you know, at the time I also wanted to be very good at that game. So I wanted to learn from him a little bit. And so I was watching him, and he had little to no audience at the time. But one time he decided to collab with another streamer and they became friends, right? So when that little collab happened, it literally blew his channel up, right? And now he has, you know, a lot of eyes on him, right? Honestly, anything is possible. Imagine you're traveling around and looking for a new gig or something, and you meet a like-minded guy who you become friends with, right? You guys share ideas, and you guys go crazy together. I can tell you right now, on God, if you've decided to watch your favorite podcast at home about how to take a shit and wipe yourself afterwards, an opportunity like that will never come. When you put yourself out there, literally anything can happen. The easiest thing you could do is go on a Discord server right now, do like some kind of shared activity in like a mixed sex setting, for instance, like a game or something. And who knows, maybe you could find a relationship, right? Like maybe even find yourself married in a couple of years. The thing is, you never know, anything can happen. If you asked me like 2 or 3 years ago, I would have never imagined what I would be doing in a couple of years from then on. You never know, right? Try to talk to people on Discord, and maybe you'll even fucking eat some e-pussy in a couple of years, dude. When it comes to women as well, I find the best mentality you'll have is when you travel. Because in that moment, you're not really thinking about, stuff like budget, what you'll do, what you'll eat, especially if you travel alone. When you live in that moment and you're present, that's basically when you're the most present you'll ever be. I feel that during that moment is the easiest time to talk to women. And again, coming back to what I said earlier about asking yourself a few years back, imagine what your life could look like in a few years into the future. You could literally be married, my dude. Or you could have started a company or something. None of the greatest people you know have made it alone. Like, not even a single one, dude. Sure, we put a label on successful people like Bill Gates, right? Or Epstein. Could he have invented gravity alone, right? Behind those people stood hundreds, if not, thousands of other successful people who helped them get to where they are, right? Nobody achieved shit alone, dude. If you're watching this video and you're isolating yourself, then hey, dude, what's up? Like and subscribe. But I want you to know, though, you're missing out on life for sure. Coming back to podcasts in this isolation problem is by fucking with your brain and tricking it that, the people that you listen to on those podcasts are your friends, you're hella missing out on the actual friendships you could be making in real life. Some of the examples I can think of is, imagine you're working out and building muscle, right? Instead of working out at home, you could go out there and try to work out at the gym. And by stepping out of your comfort zone, putting yourself out there, it makes it so that it's possible for you to actually make friends in that location. And the thing about this situation is that when you make a gym friend, it's significantly more likely you're going to stick to the workouts that you have because you can encourage each other to train, right?